Good morning, everyone. Oh my God, I forgot to turn one light on. Well, I'll fix that during one of the transitions. Anyhow, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together. This is our daily broadcast here from Puerto Vallarta. Let me get up and turn that light on because it's going to drive me crazy. Don't go anywhere. Jesus. Okay. That's more like it. Anyhow, welcome to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we examine news from our city, our state, and our country. We take into account your comments, ideas, questions, and suggestions, and we put all this information together so that we can hopefully have a better connected experience here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. My name is Paco, and it's always a pleasure to see you here. And of course, today is Wednesday, October 19th, and I think we're going to have all kinds of interesting things that you may enjoy. I hope you will. We have news about security. We have news about, what do we have news about? We have news about security. We have news about more events coming back to Puerto Vallarta. We have good news for all dolphins in Mexico and bad news for dolphin keepers. And we have a fun walk to enjoy today. So before we get started, as always, I'd like to invite anyone that is watching for the first time to join us and just type the word new in your comment. And this will allow us to give you a nice little welcome. If you have something really important on your mind that you would like to share with a cluster, it helps a great deal if you add a capital letter Q at the beginning of your comment. So let's get started. Okay, let me fix this very quickly. The first news item has to do with security, and I know that there's some of you out there that just don't enjoy having to answer constant questions about is Puerto Vallarta safe or not. I do too. A new study conducted by Mexico's National Geography and Statistics Institute revealed that Puerto Vallarta is among the top cities in Mexico with the lowest perception of insecurity. The lowest perception of insecurity, and perception is the important word here. And the city with the lowest perception of insecurity in the state of Jalisco as well. So that positions our city in a very nice place as far as public opinion is concerned. But of course, when it comes to security, it's rather easy to push Jalisco's Governor Enrique Alfaro's buttons. In a recent statement, Federal Secretary of Government Adán Augusto López said that the states of Mexico governed by the opposition are the most violent ones and that Jalisco is a bloodbath. This, of course, ruffled our governor's feathers, and he took to his Facebook page to publish a video defending our state with one simple statement. There are 10 states in Mexico governed by Morena, which is the party in rule, that have higher crime rates than Jalisco. Meanwhile, some Puerto Vallarta city council members have questioned Mayor Michel, asking him to explain the legal situation here in Puerto Vallarta as it relates to the city's commissary being overseen by the Secretary of the Marines, and wondering what kind of agreement our mayor may have signed to that effect. Mayor Michel simply answered, "I have not signed any documents. This is an issue of security, and security related issues are not disclosed publicly." Councilmember Sara Mosqueda, who oversees the Public Security Commission here in Puerto Vallarta, supported our mayor by saying, "This is between the Marine, the mayor, and the Public Security Commission, period." In other words, mind your own business. In other news, City Hall has vowed to watch more closely any instance in which a government employee retires with an inflated or so-called golden retirement pension, as was the case of former city council member Adrian Mendez, pictured here on the left side. He apparently retired at the age of 36 and receives a whopping 88,922 pesos a month. And speaking of double-dipping government officials, Municipal Tourism Director Ludwig Estrada, who is also coordinating the city's Day of the Dead festival and activities, has confirmed that Puerto Vallarta is set to break a Guinness World Record with the world's largest catrina. And he says that this is good for our destination. And I think it would be good for our destination to break a Guinness World Record with something that is available for people to enjoy year-round, and not a structure that will be installed and removed in less than a month. So that's just me. The face mask mandate is a thing of the past, at least for now. Still, the Jalisco State Secretary of Health continues to advise wearing one in enclosed spaces or spaces with poor ventilation, and reminds the population that COVID and flu vaccines are currently available for us at local health centers. And my last news item of this section: no more dolphin shows, says the federal government, with 331 deputies in favor and 17 against and 125 abstentions. This is great news. Unless you are involved in scientific, investigative, or preservation projects, you have 90 days. You have 90 days to relinquish your personal flippers to the government. Great, great news. And of course, our weather says, oh dear, if Elon is getting Twitter and Kanye, however you pronounce his name, is getting Parler, then I am totally buying whatever's left of Friendster. That is kind of funny. 27 degrees right now. Humidity continues to prevail at 100%. What's up with that? We are only days away from the switch, and it's freaking humid out there. And our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 81. Our weather forecast. I know I pushed the wrong button. My bad. The weather forecast for today, once again, is rain starting in the afternoon with a high of 31 and a low of 24. Tomorrow, Thursday, it's going to be humid and partly cloudy. Can it get any more humid than it is today? No. But tomorrow we'll have another humid day with a high of 32 and a low of 24. And then on Friday, we will have another humid and mostly cloudy day with a high of 31 and a low of 24. We seem to be stuck. We were doing so well with the temperature feeling warmer and warmer, but something has happened and I cannot explain it. Moving right along, let's see. Another popular event is making a comeback after the pandemic is another event that is making a comeback after the pandemic is the Los Muertos Fishing Tournament, which will take place this coming November 5th, or it could be the 6th. I really don't know because one date is mentioned in the first paragraph and the other date is mentioned in the second paragraph. You gotta love these journalists. The event brings together over 145 local boats that compete for the catch. And after the catch is tallied, there's a huge shindig on the beach that includes free food prepared with the fish that was caught, not to mention a total of 350,000 pesos in prizes. Again, this is scheduled to take place on maybe November 5th, maybe November 6th. Maybe they'll fix their typo and they will give us accurate information. And now we walk. Okay, so a few days ago, I asked you if you were curious about what's going on at the Isla Rio Cuale, and I decided to take another look at the isla, this time around looking for any changes or updates or recovery that may have taken place after Hurricane Nora caused all that damage to the island a year ago. So I'm entering the island through the easternmost suspension bridge, the one that is closest to the cultural center. And this is one of the oldest suspended bridges, so it's rather wobbly here. I stopped not only to show you that the river is still running rather brown, although that changes from day to day. Right now, it's still raining in the mountains, so we can expect some brown water coming down. And of course, I was holding on to for for dear life because these guys were walking right behind me, making the bridge a little unstable. But it is part of the charm of getting in and out of the island. Of course, as you know, this is the eastern side of the island, and this is what we consider the cultural side of the island. Today we're actually going to split this walk into two sections. Today we are going to explore from the cultural center to Insurgentes Street, and then we'll have the follow up either tomorrow or the day after. But seldom do I have a chance to go to the island during the weekday or during working hours, and I was happy to see this time around that some of the workshops offered by the city were operating. So it was nice to see people painting and engaging in other types of activities. One of the things that I was curious about is what was going on or what is going on behind the cultural center itself, as that was a part of the island that suffered a lot of damage. And I know that some barriers had been built. So I attempted to head in this general direction, only to find that I could only get so far. It's not easy to get much access after these rocks that you see here. So I figured, is this going to be a good day to twist my ankle? And I said to myself, nope, it is not. But this is what the south, the easternmost tip of the island looks right now. Looks like you cannot even get all the way back there. So here we go. We returned. As long as we're walking, I am going to no. I'm going to wait till you're. I'm going to hold on to your cues until the comment section and just let this walking tour unfold. I next decided to take a look on the opposite side of the main building just to see if I had better access to the rear from that side. And what I discovered on this side is that the restrooms that used to be back here have been removed. I remember reading shortly after Hurricane Nora did its thing that it was reported that these restrooms that used to be located right at that spot had suffered a lot of damage from the river water. So I assume they were removed. And I don't know if all this debris is just stuff that was lifted from the river or what it is doing there, but it hasn't been cleared out just yet. So, no easy access to the back of the Institute of Culture, which is not the end of the world. I mean, you probably wouldn't want to be back there. And then I try to walk closely to the classrooms on this side, and there was a little bit of activity in them. There were some courses going on. Again, the city's Institute of Culture offers all kinds of interesting workshops that are very affordable, if not free. I'm not entirely sure. If you want to find out more about this, you can always step by the Institute of Culture to learn more about their programs. Now, this restaurant here on the left-hand side has been there forever, and it continues to be there. I forget the name, but there's no change in that restaurant that I could see. I was mostly curious about the planting and all the fixing that was taking place in this part of the river. I mean, it's part of the island right before the hurricane last year. But I also noticed some interesting new structures, like there are these uh, archways or little, I don't even know what to call those, but these are made out of branches. A couple of them have been erected here. And there's been some landscaping that has been done, which makes the island very interesting. Where was the walking tour? I missed it, says Maria Elena Guerrero. I would imagine, Maria Elena, that if you were an English speaking local, you would recognize this immediately as our beloved Isla Rio Cuale. And that is exactly what we are walking today. So, continuing on. Oh, the arches are called arbors. Thank you very much. That's a new word for my vocabulary. Thank you very much, Evan. That school thing is a pergola. Okay, fair enough. We are approaching what used to be this restaurant, and the name escapes me, but we're going to see it on the sign in a second. This used to be, there it is, Babel Bar. This is the place where you used to be able to enjoy um, live music in the afternoons. And I have heard through the grapevine that an Indian restaurant comes to this spot at some point, but there's no signs of activity yet, although there was a man working in the back section where Babel Bar used to have outdoor seating, and that's where their outdoor concerts used to take place. But again, I have no indication or no knowledge of when the new Indian restaurant is going to open. Continuing along this side of the island, I noticed some work being done. There were workers and volunteers taking care of the island. I don't know if these are city sponsored workers or if it's volunteers, but it was nice to see people looking after the plants. And I noticed these signs. The abandonment of domestic animals in public areas is considered a crime. I believe this must be because some people must be in the habit of just taking their puppies and their kitty cats and dumping them on the island, which is not a nice thing to do. In fact, it's very not nice. And the last time that we walked this with any attention to detail was right before the hurricane last year. And it's nice to see that most of this area is looking great. I don't remember if the landscaping here is the same as it used to be, but it is nice again to see that there are city workers and volunteers keeping this area nice looking. And of course, on the left side is Le Bistro restaurant. And I never know if Le Bistro restaurant is going to be open or closed. Here is the John Huston sculpture. And I noticed that these new benches have been placed right in front of it. And the benches include some beautiful, oh my God, that's my hand. The benches include some beautiful tiles. I was trying to create some shade over the lens so that I wouldn't get flare. Um, and we are approaching the Insurgentes, the new bridge, which of course you know was rebuilt after Hurricane Nora. And the few shops that are open on this side of the island are open and thriving, selling pretty much the same stuff as you find on the other side of the island, but who's counting? And right in front of us is the brand new throughway under Insurgentes Bridge. If this is news to you, this is a new way to get from one side of the island to the other. This is part of the improvement that was put in place after Hurricane Nora destroyed Insurgentes Street. Now you can remain at island level from one end to the other. This is the access that you can get up to the sidewalk on this side. On the opposite side, there is some new plantings there, but there isn't really any access beyond this point that you would want to be concerned about. And this is pretty much where I decided to arbitrarily split this walk into two as we cross under this new tunnel or through this new tunnel. So we will take a look at the rest of this walk either tomorrow or the day after. I'm not sure yet. And the reason I'm not sure yet is because yesterday I had the opportunity to enjoy for the first time the new Vietnamese restaurant here in Puerto Vallarta, Let's Pho PV, which is located right where Michael Buford used to have poblanos. And not only was the food exceptional, but the owner, Charlie, was absolutely charming. And what a nice human being. And I will be happy to share all that experience with you either tomorrow or the day after. I'm not sure yet because I also have a nice interview with the new owner of the restaurant. So I'm going to be editing that, and I'm going to be editing the second half of this Rio Cuale, Isla Rio Cuale walk. And now let's take a quick look at your comments just to see what everybody is up to. As always, it's great to see your good mornings. Very much appreciated. Um, oh, hold on. Cue the comment music. There you go. Oh, some people are reporting Burr weather. That's nice to read because it's not Burr here at all. Um, it's quite the struggle to get to the correct page to watch you. So disappointed in Facebook. Well, Paula, the good news for you is that the name of the page is always the same. It never changes. You can bookmark it on your browser. You know that we're always here at 10:30 in the morning, so it shouldn't be so difficult to find us. Does anybody else have a difficult time finding Coffee and Headlines in the morning? Is there anything that yours truly can do to create a better connection between you and our morning broadcasts? Please let me know. Albert says lately it's not very frustrating. Again, if you could be specific about these issues, maybe I can do something about it, maybe not. More good mornings, more good mornings. Good to see your smiling face, Paco. Thank you very much, Margaret. It's been a rough week, but we are here with bells on, even though they're not very jingly, but we are definitely here. Um, Tropical storm asks Luke. Not yet. It's still 5 days away. Uh, let's see. Luisa, how is Guadalajara treating you guys? Please share some news. Clay asks, no mention of the cyclone development south of us. That is correct. I know it's coming. It's not coming for another 5 days. So between you and me, I'm truly not going to worry about it just yet. Give me a couple of days and we'll start tracking. Let's see. Clay is also reporting a jumpy broadcast from Sayulita. I'm sorry to hear. And let's see what else. Bill confirms, hola Bill, that an Indian restaurant is coming. This is also the location of... What? Oh, interesting. So this is going to be... Oh, that makes sense to me. Okay. Paco, explain yourself. Bill is letting us know that there will be a new Indian restaurant where that restaurant used to be, and that this will be a new location for Three Hens and a Rooster Saturday Market, which makes sense to me because, as you will notice in the second half of our Isla Rio Cuale walk, the former location of the Three Hens and a Rooster Saturday Market is now a really funky, really fun pet gathering place. They have completely covered the location, and you will see a glimpse of it in the second half of our walking tour. They have covered the location with artificial grass, and they have areas, dedicated areas for dogs of different sizes to hang out with other dogs and so forth and so on. They have done a beautiful job in restoring the island. Absolutely. I totally agree with you, Christy. It is a never-ending job. I just wish that not only the city, but also the organization of volunteers that seems to be involved in this project were more forthcoming with press releases and information about activities and this, that, and the other. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of information out there. And we rely on this information to connect the dots. Let's see what else. My pleasure, David. Again, it is always nice to go back and spend some time in the island, and I'm looking forward to sharing the second half. When is the time change? I don't remember, Chris. I think it's at the end of this month, but our Coffee and Headlines webpage has a beautiful search function in which you can find out the information you desire. I believe we covered this a couple of days ago. Could have named the Indian restaurant. If that is supposed to be funny, I cannot even pronounce it, and I'm glad it was not called that. Thank you very much, Maggie, as in Peggy. Not difficult at all. I set a timer on my iPhone and then go to your page to watch. No need to rely on Facebook for notifications. That's what I thought, and I'm glad to hear that that is the case. Paula says, I know the page, but to see the live video. As far as I know, if you go to the page when the video has just started, then it appears right there. And in fact, let us confirm that. Let me go into... I can do this. I can do this. Yes, I can do this. Let's see. facebook.com/Paco Ojeda Live. So I'm going into the page, and here we are. And right at the top of the page, I can see this sign that says live now, which means that we are live now. Now, to be certain of this, I know that I can see this page. I know I can, there's a way in which I can see this page as somebody that is not me. I cannot find that function right now, but I can tell you that if you go to the page while you know there is a broadcast going on, and you always know there's a broadcast going on from Monday through Saturday at 10:30 in the morning, you will see a little message that says something is going on at this time. Okay, so these must be good jokes, and I'm not finding them funny because my mood is off. Please forgive me if I'm not laughing at these. My bad. Isn't it getting late for tropical storms? Yes, it is, Angelica, but I believe that the tropical storm season ends at the end of this month. I could have that wrong. Deb says, just keep scrolling down until you see the live one. It would be helpful if the sessions were in a consecutive date format, but not really an issue. Oh, that's good to hear. Bill says, I will be there every Saturday, which means that Bill is taking part of the 3 hens and a rooster market following the tradition of Raymond, the late owner of the Artisan Bakery. Not late because he's never late, and not late because he's not dead. He's just gone. Hey, Raymond, if you're watching, we miss you. Bill, please keep us posted on not only the 3 hens and a rooster market, but also please keep us posted on the new Indian restaurant. What a great combination. A market and a restaurant right next to each other. Let's see. Thank you very much for that, Sue. The time change is on October 30th. I have no idea what this is. If this has anything to do with time changes, this must have something to do with time changes elsewhere, because as of now, Mexico will not have time changes anymore. I believe time change is November 6th, says Ramona. This may be in another country, not in Mexico. November 6th is the time change, says Sherry Cooper. That must be elsewhere, not in Mexico. Evan says, when I'm on the page, I have to refresh to get it to show the button to play the video. Evan, the good news is that I have to do exactly the same thing, so don't take it personally. Dave comments, the difficulty is not with you and Paco, it's the Facebook that is messed up. I think it might be a problem with Facebook and the type of device. I continue to not understand why people rely so much on Facebook when we've had alarms and reminders in our computers and our watches and our cell phones for the longest time. We're always here at 10:30 in the morning. Let's see what else. Fucking sounds like fucking. I know it does, Dave. I am just not finding it funny, and I'm sure it's just me. So please don't hold it against me. Lona, thank you very much for your initiative. Lona Googled hurricane season, and according to Google, it ends November 30th. There you go. And this, my friends, brings us to the end of today's broadcast. If you found something wonderful, if you found something insightful, if you found a new way to connect with each other or with a destination, then we are on the right track. Tomorrow, as always, we'll be back either with our interview and show around of the new Vietnamese restaurant, or with part 2 of our walk. But one way or another, we will have interesting features to enjoy both tomorrow and Friday. Between now and then, please stay kind, stay happy, stay informed, and stay connected. Have a great day.